Hello and welcome to another episode of The Zoo. Today we're going to talk about self-service. It's an important part of our life. When we shop online, Amazon.com for example, we click a single button and we buy thousands of dollars. If we have a problem, we write a post. If we need to chat with someone, we open an IM window. We do not call, not write emails because we know those emails will never reach our recipient. We have a very easy Twitter/Facebook/Snapchat environment. But if you go and look at the enterprise, where we go to work every day, there is no such self-service there. We have to fill out long forms. We rely heavily on emails and phones. And if you look at how much money is made in consumer retail and how much money we spend on wages in corporate America and the world, then you have to ask yourself, why are we not investing better in employees and workers? And here to help me understand why is all the way from Vancouver in Canada, Larry Toube. Larry, welcome to the zoo.
Hey Alf, how's it going?
And from Wales, the man who invented the internet, Chris Rickson.
Abused, I don't think invented.
Larry, why are self-service important to an enterprise? We've heard about certain aspects that make it life easier for the end user, but why should IT, for example, care about having a good self-service environment in place?
I think one of the biggest things really, if you look at the fundamental savings there, is really around cost savings, right? So companies are dealing with all kinds of help desks and systems in place to be able to provide end users a mechanism to resolve some of their issues. So by providing more of a semantic kind of tool where people can find resolutions to themselves, interact with the workforce, again, tremendous cost savings can be made right there just by deflecting some of the initial calls that might go to a service desk. I think another area probably is around, as you mentioned, just bringing that same level of experience to your employees, right? So providing them a much more seamless way to deal with their day-to-day lives, makes them much more productive, and in turn improves their overall satisfaction using the tools and services that they have available to them within the organization.
If these benefits are so clear-cut and so easy to describe, then Chris, why is IT always slow on instituting a good self-service environment?
Well, I think the trick is the word good, or the essence of what you said really hinges on the word good. So we've tried a number of times before, but we haven't always had an eye on the experience for the end user, right? So self-service, if it's involving a 27-field form buried behind a firewall somewhere, isn't the most compelling thing, and then usually ends up generating more calls than it deflects, right? So the first thing you do when you're confronted with that monolithic form is actually phone the help desk and say, this is too much, or I'm not sure I filled this out right, or did you get my request, etc., etc. So it's been tried. It hasn't necessarily been tried with a consumer lens, and as Larry absolutely hit the nail on the head, we expect that degree of sophistication, ease, simplicity now, and the technologies around to support it as well. So that's also caught up in the meantime, I think.
And I think that is true, and it's fair to say that if you look from the day the iPhone was introduced till today, we've seen the fastest acceleration in consumer innovation, or maybe in any type of technology. It's ridiculously fast. So to introduce a new product, for example, like the product you are building, Larry, MyIT, what's some of the features that you're using in there that brings that goodness, that brings that experience to users? What do they want?
So I think the first thing that we've kind of noticed after doing numerous studies and tests, around the workforce is really, as we kind of touched on before, people are starting to interact with technology differently than they did a few years ago. So the whole aspect of collaboration, subject matter experts from within your network, trusted people that you know within the organization, are definitely a source for information that people typically go to in their everyday lives. They're reading Twitter and Facebook and all of these type of areas for information. So we've adopted a whole bunch of those social collaboration features, crowdsourcing type of features directly into MyIT to be able to provide them that one-stop shop to go in and resolve their own issues, hear from their peers much more seamlessly than they could do before. We're also placing all of that around contextual information, so providing them the information that they need in relation to what they're doing at the time. We know who they are, we know where they are, we know the services that they're using, and we can then provide them with much richer content within context of what they're doing. We're tying into other kind of things around, you mentioned the forms, right? So traditionally people have to fill in these long forms to be able to get anything done. So we're trying to take new approaches there to really remove those long traditional forms, creating a formless experience, a single click, a single text entry type of thing. The same things you would find in a Twitter, very few characters to be able to then forward that into your file and all the kind of requests you might need to make within the organization.
On the back end or something like that, Chris, what does IT want?
What does IT want? I think that the wins, other than obviously setting and meeting customer expectations, which is obviously very, very important, so furthering the relationship and building credibility in the eyes of the modern workforce, that's a win. But in terms of what they want, particularly in the delivery, I think you're getting, the better we are at automating the capture of some of these requests, the more complete they tend to be when they come through, which enables us to do some smart things with process automation, get things to the right place, they're consistently categorized, we don't have that ticket bouncing phenomena that takes so much time and effort. So there's a consistency thing, there's a completeness thing, there's a process efficiency benefit coming through from effective self-service. You're avoiding those mind-numbing calls about where's the projector, all the trivial stuff that
that's
just
me.
takes.
That's me, Colin.
Well, and it's me too, in fairness. And you know, they just take up huge amounts of time and effort. And I think those are the operational wins. But a lot of customers talk about wanting to be seen to be driving the modern workplace and defining the modern workplace. And there's no doubt about it that an effective self-service service management tool, which is clearly more than just IT service management, is fundamental to the modern workplace. That's how you get and consume services. So if you can crack that, you're well on the way, I think, to redefining how work gets done, and that's a good thing.
Larry, in that vein, transforming or redefining what a modern or digital workplace looks like, there's a trend among the more progressive IT organizations to switch from IT support to becoming a service broker, to provide services that people need. For example, someone like me shouldn't have to go out and look for marketing automation tools by myself. IT should provide me with 5-6 samples that are easy to consume and are top-notch. And I don't think they have that skill set and those solutions to execute that right now. Is that what you're seeing in the market too, a switch over to service brokers? Larry, I think you're on mute. Or
one thing that we found within our dealing with a whole bunch of customers, so we've now created this new central location for the business user to be able to go in and find some of these services and applications, etc. But a lot of customers have multiple catalogs in the back end, different systems doing different things, and it's really hard to keep a breadth of where all of those are, distributing those out to the users, etc. So one of the things that we're looking at is really creating that new centralized, aggregated catalog to be able to pull in all the different various catalogs that you have into one central user experience, to be able to distribute those out to your end users based off of entitlements and various permission bases, as well as providing a central marketplace, a very live, rich marketplace to be able to procure new services. all in all, providing that single experience to be able to distribute all of those out, which then potentially could be surfaced up in a front end to the business user through a MyIT, through their various catalogs, etc.
Chris, I think it's CA that referred to service brokering as the next great debate, whether they're referring to the Lhasa Council or Curtis and Shapley's astronomical debate, I don't know. But is this more than a fad, or is this actually something going to happen? Is IT going to be a concierge of IT? Are they going to be the one who hook me up with what I need? Today, they can barely fix my laptop. I'm very sorry about saying that out loud, but that's the truth. That's a big step. Can they do it?
Well, firstly, I congratulate you for referencing Harlow Shapley on the Zoo. I think that's made my day. I think here's the thing, right? Whether IT likes it or not, a marketplace has evolved whereby business units, line of business owners, etc., are now well able to procure technology, right? In a highly flexible, highly accessible marketplace that IT has absolutely nothing to do with. So there is, for the first time, I think, in the history of technology, much greater accessibility and real competition for IT departments to put themselves back in front and center of the management, procurement, provision of technology. They have to be relevant. They have to adopt a model that line of business owner would recognize, that delivers value, that's easy, simple, takes away all the headache of doing it for themselves. So I think there's a combination of here. Yes, service brokering is a very compelling model, and yeah, I'm sure it's going to come quite hard and quite a shock to a lot of organizations, but that model is evolving itself out there. So much better to embrace that way of working, facilitate it properly, get some control and measurement back by delivering it effectively. And again, back to the sort of self-service conversation, why not get ahead of that and try to design the modern workplace and support a proper multi-sourced environment where you do at least have the ability to measure what's being procured and supplied out there. So
I think there's a great opportunity to IT to elevate itself to something completely else because it's not going in the right direction now. You're not going to recruit the greatest talent like they used to do if you continue down in the service support vein. I think, however, being a service broker is something that'd be quite cool. Thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate you taking the time in the zoo again. Thank you, Larry, all the way from Canada. And see the rest of you in a few weeks when we're going to talk about the digital workplace. See you then. Bye-bye.